Hi, for inspection today is VW Golf 2011 registration date, year, and it's a 1.4 petrol with DSG gearbox. It has 110,000 miles on the clock. Let me show you what you would expect, something what I've always been saying. Make sure it has a full service history from the main dealer or specialist only. This one has very tatty service history with servicing stop and some other random small garages, constantly changing. There's some gap in the servicing, and that normally would be an indication where you have to be careful. So obviously probably this buyer is careful and he opening this VW Golf for the inspection. Let me show you what I found. So let's start with the bodywork. Bodywork is very tatty, loads of scratches, slight damage here. Obviously age-related issues with the clusters. It needs new clusters. There's a water ingress evidently here. It's been stationary somewhere. Same happens, and a bit better position, brighter position on this side. Slightly misaligned. Again, the bumper. The bodywork has a lot of small scratches all the way around. This side actually is much better than the other side. Some of them also you can consider acceptable. Then we have obviously bumper sticking out. You can see previous resprays on it. Would consider acceptable. Cracked paintwork. It's been obviously touched. He touched somewhere something. Same issue on this side. It's not lining up. And then we're going forward. And a pile of these sort of nasty scratches on this door, and then we have a slight damage around here, and again few chip marks, and again we have those small scratches all over it. So that's the bodywork, very average. Probably you would expect something would be clearly been used daily, that's what you're buying a vehicle for. But overall there would be different ways in the way people look after these vehicles. So to me this was more likely a boy racer. As you can see, all the alloys would be curbed all the way around. Tires, every brand you could have, it has on every side of this vehicle. So it doesn't have matching tires. Again, it's a bad habit to changing tires this way. Obviously, all of them are budget. The only one, which is Pirelli, is in the front, offside. Center cap is missing, and it has a bit of oil leaks underneath. Some of them you would expect that. There's also cracked sump where they used quick steel, so that's leaking. So you can see there's a bit of leak there. So that could be leaking from timing chain cover, but would need further investigation. There has been previous faults 50 miles ago. On a history of diagnostic scanner, it stores the fault on a data log. And I had a look, so it's been logged on 26th of July this year, and it was rich mixture on idle speed, so that could be a tricky one to notice. Something obviously will come back. So the fault's been deleted like 180 kilometers ago, and also in theory, and this one is fair wear and tear, would consider acceptable. Quite good at the back of the vehicle. Floor mats are missing. Some glue marks on door trims. But however, even this vehicle is very sort of tatty. to mention there are leaking shock absorbers. What I'm saying is a boy's racer car. You can see there is red springs fitted all the way around on this vehicle. So this shock is leaking, right shock is leaking, and perishing bump stops. Everything what I'm mentioning here is kind of nothing serious, but all those are maintenance things in a short term. In the long term, you will need some money. We'll need rear disc and pads, as this tire is heavily corroded and is getting 40% left. I mean, well, clearly this vehicle, what's the point of inspection? So you understand the overall vehicle's condition, and if the price is right, then anything is right. You know, even very bad looked after vehicle, for somebody it will be good value. So I'm not sure what is the price for this vehicle, but we'll find this out later. And coming back, regards to the rotors, as I mentioned, he actually drives very well. I wasn't expecting that. It's just the overall impression, overall feel of the vehicle is not good, you know, but it drives well. There is obviously a bit of DSG gearbox, slight, very light judder, which I would consider acceptable for 109,000 miles. So basically 110, as I said before, 110, I believe. I would consider that acceptable. So yeah, if the price is right, then the vehicle is right. So we'll see by how much it is below average market value. That's what we do here. We're checking for service history, VIN numbers if they're matching, so you're preventing buying a clone. So you understand potentially roughly repair costs. You have different packages. It goes deeper and deeper inside of the vehicle, and you get more and more information. So most popular one are standard and premium inspections. So this one is standard. So the premium would be checking paint thicknesses, readings, in depth, checking for possible structural issues, etc. It's just getting more and more information about the vehicle. And it just makes you decide, is the price of the vehicle what's been asked by the seller, is it right, is it fair, you know? The more issues there will be on a maintenance, that will be your short-term, long-term investments. You will keep investing money in this vehicle, like on this one specifically. You know, you got oil leaks, you got shock absorbers, we've got rear brake pads. Every single tire on an axle is completely different. Some of them you got acceptable age-related cracks developing around the tire edges. One of them, the rear right, obviously has uneven tire wear. It's got a bulge, so it needs replacing. Basically, this one here. Everything obviously is minor, but at the point of it, you know, everyone would look on this video thinking, there's nothing wrong with this vehicle, I would drive it, that's fine. Yes, but when you buy a car, you know, you don't want to spend any more of the money, because more likely you will get this car on finance, or you put down all your savings, and you don't want to spend anything anymore, and you want to buy a good car. When it will come for you buying it, every one of you, even who will say, there's nothing wrong with the car, what are you talking about, you know? But when you're gonna buy the car, you would, trust me, you would not want to spend a penny on this vehicle, you know, because every one of you who buying cars, they're expecting to buy a brand new vehicle, right? And for these people, just remember, you need to understand overall vehicle's condition and how much money you will have to spend in this vehicle, because seller will not give you all this information. And even on Consumer Rights Act, the car actually have to be in a reasonable condition, you know. If you're buying something tatty, visually not right, which doesn't have a good vibe, like I've been talking about this vehicle, it's your problem. You can't reject the vehicle because it's just it's got so many age-related issues. You will need to spend those spend money on it. You know, I mean, yes, looking on a 10-year vehicle, it would be 10. This would be 12, basically. Then they are expected age-related wear and tear, and those are expected, so the age-related wear and tear. Yes, probably a bit more excessive because probably Boy Racer has been using this vehicle, you know. So you would only find this out once you will get an inspection, once you will get an expert of what we do, the way we look at the vehicles, and tracing them through with diagnostic scanners, etc. We can have this sort of general feel. You know, you can put a general feel from 0 to 100%. You know, there's nothing, say for instance, for some cars visually mechanically wrong, but it's just that general feel, real feel, what kind of condition that vehicle gives you back percentage wise, you know what I mean? Like, and this one was kind of really not good, but it actually drives well, you know, even with all those maintenance issues, which are, this vehicle is road legal, you know, but you will get this understanding, especially most of you don't really, not aware or not into cars. Being an enthusiast is the one thing, you know, but understanding things mechanically, how to trace things, how to diagnose, repair, and then look for latent issues, what can be hidden, etc. Drivability concerns, leave it to experts. That's what we do.